Do you know why I made so much money on Aduro? Because I'm willing to look beyond 3 inches in front of your face. That's it. Willing to look at 6 inches, 9 inches, 100 inches in front of your face. That's it. And people are continuously going to miss Aduro because of their inability to look beyond 3 inches in front of their face. And so right now, 3 inches in front of their face, they cannot see revenues. They cannot see revenues. They cannot see licensing revenues. They just see, oh, the revenues are whatever they want to think about. 2027, 2028, 2030, whatever they want to dream up. And the same argument that they're making today could have been made 2 years ago. Exactly the same thing, and yet the stock is up almost 1,000%. This revenue obsession is what keeps them from making serious money, because the revenues are going to come. It's not even a question about, it's not about revenues. It's about whether this technology solves the problem. That's it. There is so much demand for this. There's so much need for this. The revenues are going to come. And also, today, 3 inches in front of people's face, they do not exactly see where this thing is going to be again next year, right? So they're jumping on companies that show them guidance for next year, year and a half, 2 years. Again, within that 3 inches in front of their face, they can see it, but with Aduro, they cannot, right? And we have a management that's very conservative, okay? And, of course, they could come up with a bunch of estimates, but they're not going to, right? We as investors can connect the dots ourselves before they are connected for everybody else. So let me just demonstrate you something. Not too long ago, they had a press release how they signed an agreement to possibly acquire a site in Europe, right? A site for the demo. They're doing the due diligence. Yesterday, we got the press release about ECOSA in Mexico. Big, huge news. So now, what if, and the management didn't say that, but what if they decided to go with 2 demonstration units, one in Europe, one in Mexico, because Mexico wants to work with Aduro to provide a solution to their member companies, right? Like the Pepsi, Coca-Cola. They're the members of ECOSA. They are the companies that founded or that fund ECOSA to find them a solution, right? So what if Aduro went to build 2 demonstration units? And you know that those 2 demonstration units will start off as demonstration units. 8,000 tons per year. They're going to be expanded to commercial units eventually to 25,000 tons per year. But again, that's not 3 inches in front of their face, of people's face. The management is not coming out and spelling it out. You have to have a brain and you have to think for yourself where the puck is going or where it might be going by connecting the dots. So let's say that they do 2 demonstration units that eventually turn into 2 commercial units. And they're going to be owned 100% by Aduro, right? Maybe they're going to need to raise a bit of money to make that happen. But so then let's say 2 units, 25,000 times 2, that's 50,000 tons per year. Okay? Now, what can they make for each ton? Well, you know that bio-naphtha sells for a lot more money than regular fossil fuel naphtha, right? The pricing, and you really don't have to worry about whether you're going to be able to sell this naphtha, because if it sells for such a premium, there's so much demand for it that you're just going to be able to sell it like as if you had crude oil. You're just going to be able to sell whatever you produce. So let's say, and I'm going to be conservative, let's say you can make $1,500. Okay? $1,500 times 50,000 tons per year. That's $75 million. Okay? High margin, $1 million in front of your face. With already the press releases that kind of you can connect the dots, right? So now, you tell me, a company that will have close to $100 million of revenues like this, from a technology that nobody else has, nobody else can do this, the total addressable market, all the countries in the world. Now, this is 2 units, right? And then we have, Eric told us that if we want to make a dent in this plastic problem, the world will need thousands of units. So thousands of units, and if 2 units generate close to 100 million in revenues, do I have to tell you anything else? Right? And even those 2 units, well, what do you think something like this is worth? Now, if you only had 2 units, you had no more growth potential, maybe those 2 units would be worth, I don't know, let's say 50% of it, let's say 30 million, 20 million bottom line. You put a 10 multiple on it, 200 million. That's not exciting, right? But that's not just 2 units. The market knows that those 2 units can turn into thousands of units, whether direct ownership or licensing model. Well, at that time, the multiple on something like that is, Tesla type of multiples, Palantir types of multiples. You can't even pick a multiple, okay? And another thing is, so let's say if under the circumstances of huge growth, huge TAM, those 2 units, or even 1 unit that generates, let's say, instead of 75, 1 unit would generate close to 40 million of revenues. That kind of unit, in this kind of environment, worth $400 million. 1 unit. Now, again, if it was just 1 unit and you could never build another one, no. But if it's 1 unit on the path to thousands of units, yeah, easily a unit like this then is worth $400 million. And now how much would it cost to build a unit like this? About $35 million. So think about this math too. You dilute 10% to create $400 million of value. Right? At the current market cap, you dilute about 10% to double your market cap. again, I'm telling you this because everybody will have the calculator. Everybody will have the imagination. Once they understand, once somebody shows them the picture, shows them the roadmap of these estimates that other companies are giving them. But right now, it's blurry. They don't understand. Oh, I remember when I got involved in Aduro. Oh, I don't want to buy it because the revenues are not until 2027. So instead, they put money in Oracle, they put money in Voxter that went to zero, they put money in all the other things that 3 inches in front of their face, they were promised something. And as a result, they missed out on 10x, and those other things probably didn't turn out within that time period like the way Aduro did, right? Because again, the revenues are so far away. Oh, I can't wait that long. I need to see it next year. And so that's why I made all this money on Aduro, simply because I don't have a revenue tumor in my brain, and I'm willing to look past 3 inches in front of my face.